Hello and welcome to the Blackboard series, Part 2, What is Feminine Leadership? My name is Maria Gam. I am a leadership expert, business consultant, CEO of NMS Communication, and the author of the best-selling book, Healing the Corporate World, and I welcome you to Part 2 today. Feminine leadership? Question mark. There's a lot of perception and belief around the definition of feminine leadership. So let's just get clear about what that actually is. And what we're talking about is the difference between a masculine and a feminine style, not male versus female, but masculine versus feminine. So let's move forward. Just remember the founding principle behind this segment is that perception is always key. What people perceive to be true or believe to be true will always be true for them. So it is all about the power of perception of what you may believe a leader is, a feminine leader or a masculine leader is, and other people have their own interpretation as well. So when polled, what did people perceive masculine leaders to be? And this is really interesting. This was done by the Wharton School of Business. They were perceived as strong, arrogant, ego-driven, stubborn, self-righteous, direct, a little assertive, kind of single-tasked. Any of this sounding familiar? So that was the perception of male leaders, but now what about the perception of female leaders? Female leaders were perceived as emotional and empathetic, strong, compassionate, relationship builders, but they were also perceived as gossipy and verbal and maybe a little too consensus building. That could go either way. So it's interesting that these were the words that came up when people were asked to describe what their perception of male and female leaders are. They are two different styles, and in the correct definition, a feminine style is actually a style that is more creative and interpersonal. Now, there are men who inhabit some of these characteristics, so just hold on and I'll explain. There's a masculine style that is more assertive and task-based in behavior, which means they want to get it done and they're going to drive towards the line. One is not more important than the other. The ideal balance of styles is to blend them together and use the combination of the best of both worlds to link your creativity and building personal relationships, combine that with task-oriented behaviors and the ability to push through and get it done. You can have great ideas, but unless you can actually do the logistics and get it into the workplace, that great idea goes nowhere, and we see this happening all the time. One needs the other. It is not a matter of masculine being more important than feminine, but instead having them work in tandem together and creating something that's the best of both worlds. You can do that in one person, but it's a little difficult. Oftentimes you need a balance of people around you with different skills and different styles in order to bring a project to fruition, from this great conception of an idea. But the question remains, does being a feminine leader mean guaranteed success? There's a lot of conversation about this. The answer is absolutely not. And you have to remember, there are feminine men and there are masculine women. And that means there are men that have more of that creative side, and there are women who may have more of that assertive side. You just never know. Gender does not determine successful leadership. It's all about what you perceive, what you embody, what you embrace, and what you're willing to balance around you. It's very important to make that distinction. Are you curious? Are you curious if you're somebody who has a masculine or a feminine style? There is actually a way to assess it, and I'm going to show you how to determine this so that you can find your balance and utilize the very best parts of you, because that's what's key, is to use what you are strongest at, what comes naturally to you. And I'm going to show you how. And the reason why this is important is knowing your style helps you build your confidence. It helps refine your communication in the way that you deliver messages to people. It helps you own what is valuable and strong about you that sets you apart from other people. It helps you to appropriately influence and motivate other people, which is key to building momentum behind any vision or any belief that you want to champion out there in the business world. And lastly, it's about bringing people on board with you. And sometimes that means selling to other people or giving presentations. You have to be able to sell it to somebody. It's about leading other people. It's about positioning yourself as a leader in your field so that you are known as somebody who is balanced rather than someone who is swinging from one side of the pendulum to the other. And believe me, that is really key. And I'm going to show you how to do all of this and more. Are you ready? Here we go. I have an invitation for you. I'd like you to join me for the free preview webinar on August 23rd at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, or Thursday, September 6th at 9 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. This webinar is specifically to deal with some of the power tools that you need to learn to improve your relationships, your skills, your communication, and to identify that style that just needs a little tweaking. And you know what? It helps you to make sense of why you can get certain things done and why you're actually not able to get other things done. You're not supposed to be Superwoman. You know, you have your strengths and you have the things that you can share with other people to take on board to get projects done. So I want to invite you to register today for this class, powertools4women.com. That's powertools4women.com. And I look forward to seeing you there and enjoying the rest of this journey with you. Have a great day.